Welcome back, folks, to a brand new video.
We're spoilt for choice in Europe, but I recommend every single place on this list. So here are 25 beautiful cities to visit in Europe.
Now, before you even watch this video, don't forget to hit that like button, obviously for the YouTube algorithm.
Number 1. Lyon. Paris, Nice, Bordeaux, the D-Day beaches, these are what people think of when they think of France. But Lyon, it rarely makes any list. Despite being France's third largest city, the country's gastronomical capital is home to several UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Lyon tends to fly under the tourist radar, and that's why it makes this list. If you ever needed more reason to travel here, Lyon is also the gateway to the Rhone Valley and the hundreds of wineries that spill out across the rolling hills.
Number 2. Heidelberg. Heidelberg is considered one of the most beautiful cities in Germany. It's easy to see why people flock straight for the castle sat upon its throne on the hill. Now, the picturesque castle, the old town, and the river surrounded by hills has inspired poets and artists over the years, and together with the old bridge, it's among the most impressive sights to be found in Germany. It's also home to Germany's oldest university, and in the centre of the old town lies the Marktplatz Square, which boasts one of Heidelberg's many beautiful fountains, grand period houses, cafes, and even more pretty local shops. So here's a stat for you. Did you know that the largest barrel in the world is stored in the castle's wine cellar? Number 3. Aalborg, Denmark. Aalborg is a city in the Jutland region of Denmark. It's known for its revitalized waterfront along the Limfjord, which is the body of water that cuts through the Jutland. An ancient city where Viking ships once sailed past along the Limfjord. Now it's evolved into a vibrant cultural hotspot with a spectacular waterfront of iconic architectural buildings. So if you're into design, you can explore the Utzon Centre and the architect behind Sydney Opera House. They say it's a foodie destination, so if you're into that, this is a place where you want to be.
Noto is a city in southeastern Sicily, known for its Baroque architecture, including the reconstructed 18th century Noto Cathedral. So if you like architectural styles, then this is the perfect location just for you. Noto, along with 7 other towns in the Val di Noto area, is designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and you can easily see why. An architectural paradise with one of the most beautiful historic centres in Sicily. Everywhere you look is an architectural gem, whether it's a fountain, an arch, church, a palace, or even a staircase or a balcony. You can either stay right in Noto within walking distance of all the attractions, or I recommend you stay further, away in the Sicilian countryside.
Number 5. Valencia. Located on Spain's east coast, the 2,000-year-old city boasts wide, sandy beaches striking architecture, and a buzzing food scene and culture, but without the crowds found in the other large Spanish cities. It's the third largest city in Spain, but its main attractions are, including the cathedral, the Mercado Central, and the UNESCO-listed Lonja de la Seda, which are all walkable around the town centre. So if you've been to the big cities before, I highly recommend you check out this one. Number 6. Marsaxlokk, Malta. Marsaxlokk is a small traditional fishing village in the southeastern region of Malta. It has a harbour and a tourist attraction known for its views, fishermen, and its history. The town offers a selection of the finest fish restaurants on the island, so if you're into that, this is the place to be. It's known for its peaceful walks around the coast and its harbour, as well as for its secluded and untainted swimming zones in the area. Locals enjoy the nightlife, especially in the summer, when you can walk around the promenade, grab an ice cream, relax, and let the sea breeze cool you off. Number 7. Lindos, Greece. Lindos is a town on the Greek island of Rhodes, known for its cliff-top acropolis, which features a monumental 4th century gates. At the first sight, you will stop, take a breath, to admire the dramatic natural landscape which is enhanced by the picturesque quality of the town. The views that you will find are astonishing. Over the calm waters of a wide rocky bay, white flat-roofed houses rise up from a slope from a golden shallow sandy beach, which forms a light around the north side of the castle hill. The mighty castle of the Acropolis of Lindos is enthroned above. Wonderful location for you to visit. Number 8. Luxembourg City. Luxembourg City is a lively and a bustling capital with lots of touristic attractions for you to visit, but plenty of things to do. There's nowhere else in Europe where you will find an outstanding mix of historical sites but contemporary architecture. The old city of Luxembourg and its fortress has long been part of the UNESCO World Heritage. So in short, Luxembourg is a small, modern city with deep roots. Another bonus is if you're a fan of nature, nearly 1/3 of the surface of the city is shaped by beautifully landscaped green spaces, which means parks and plenty of gardens. Number 9. Kotor, Montenegro. Nestled in between Croatia, Serbia, Kosovo, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Albania lies the small Balkan gem, Montenegro. The UNESCO heritage town of Kotor is a labyrinth of winding streets and old stairways leading to churches, prisons, and palaces. You can spend hours here just walking around, soaking up the atmosphere, and absorbing sights such as the Roman Catholic Cathedral with its silver altar. One of the alleys, radiating off the main piazza, can take you to the start of the ascent to the 9th century of St. John's Fort. Climb over 1,000 steps to the fortress, which looks over the Bay of Kotor, which is dominated by cliffs. Number 10.
Ghent.
That wasn't me, by the way. But while most of you head for Brussels or Bruges, the small but beautiful port city is arguably Europe's best kept secret. In fact, it was once the most powerful in Europe, but today it's a very relaxed, a picturesque place with more than just a whiff of a bohemian air. The wonderful city is also quite pretty, as they say, with a collection of canal-side medieval architecture, Michelin stars restaurants, but to really get the feel of this place, skip the touristy canal boat trips and discover all the local hotspots instead, which means lots of walking.
Bucharest, the capital of Romania. It's a dynamic modern city with a wildly sensational history. Nicknamed the Little Paris in the early 1900s, Bucharest really plays the part with tons and tons of cafes, impressive tree-lined boulevards, and a dramatic modern and historic architecture. Home to many attractions, and the most remarkable landmark is the monstrous Parliament Palace. Being equally enormous and ostentatious, it's a mind-blowing architectural feat trumped only in size by the Pentagon. Where there are many examples of Bucharest's cultural and architectural splendour, the highlights include the Romanian Athenaeum, an elaborate domed circular building that is the city's main concert hall. You can check out Bucharest University and the National History Museum. Bucharest is a top city to visit, and you'll only hear negative vibes and opinions from probably 90% of people who have never been there before just because it's in Romania. And remember, those people absolutely suck. So don't listen.
Number 12. Dubrovnik. A city in southern Croatia, fronting the Adriatic Sea. It's known for its distinctive old town, which is encircled with massive stone walls completed in 16th century. So as I said, it all starts with the old town, packed with history and interesting landmarks, centuries old buildings like the Franciscan monastery, before stopping off at one of the many cafes for a beverage. But one of Dubrovnik's most spectacular features are the ancient walls that surround the city. So as well as giving you great photo opportunities, you can walk along the walls between the historic towers and the buildings. Number 13. Wrocław, Poland. Located in the southwest of Poland, Wrocław is the capital of the Lower Silesia province and the fourth biggest Polish metropolis. It may not seem as busy as Krakow, but I promise you it is worth visiting. You will find a maze of islands and bridges, which has made the city gain the title of the Venice of Poland. So there's no shortage of things to do in this city, and the tried and true method of discovering them is via aimless walking around. So if there's room for a little wide-eyed rambling in your schedule, you'll find no more rewarding experience than meandering through the old town. Don't forget to check out the 300 odd gnomes hanging around in the streets. Number 14. Athens. The capital of Greece. It was also at the heart of ancient Greece, a powerful civilization and empire. The city is still dominated by 5th century BC landmarks, including the Acropolis, which is a hilltop citadel topped with ancient buildings like the Parthenon Temple. The interesting part is you can see the Acropolis from every part of the city, and it's the hub which Athens still revolves. But it serves as a daily reminder to Greeks of their heritage and the city's many transformations. Number 15. Gyula, Hungary. Not a big city, but equally interesting. It's a small town called Gyula in southeast Hungary. It's a quiet resort place in beautiful surroundings bordered by backwaters, forests and meadows. It's a cozy settlement that's next to a river with unparalleled flora and fauna. But it's got an interesting long history which dates back to the 12th century. But if you're looking for a small town vibe, this is it. Number 16. Edinburgh, Scotland. With an abundance of history, top quality attractions and beautiful architecture, Edinburgh is a city that you won't forget in a hurry. You can explore the medieval Old Town and the elegant Georgian New Town, which sit side by side. But the city is famous for two other attractions. The Royal Mile is at the heart of Edinburgh's Old Town, with Edinburgh Castle at its head. Its name comes from a tradition as a processional route for kings and queens for the last 500 years. But with so many places to visit in Edinburgh, you'll be spoilt for choice whether you're there for the weekend or a week.
Sibiu, Romania. Sibiu is one of the most beautiful and most visited cities of Romania. It's located in Transylvania, approximately in the center of the country, making it easily accessible from any point. Sibiu, thanks to its beauty, became the cultural capital of Europe 10 years ago, when countless events took place in the city. It's a pedestrian-friendly city with two easily accessible levels: the upper town, which is home to most of Sibiu's historic sites, and the lower, lined with colourful houses on cobblestone streets, and bounded all by imposing city walls and defence towers. Highlights would be to visit the church tower.
Number 18. Maastricht. Maastricht is the perfect place to go if you loved Amsterdam but don't want to get sucked into the tourist traps of a huge capital city. Some of the best food in the area can surprisingly be found in the student-geared restaurants that cater to an international crowd. So when the morning comes and you can browse books and get your caffeine fix, head towards Boekhandel Dominicanen. Yeah, it's a former church that's now used as a bookstore. It's complete with a coffee shop inside. But for a more adventurous experience, you can check out the Maastricht Underground. Something different from the typical Amsterdam.
Number 19. Uppsala, located less than an hour by train from Stockholm, is considered the centre of Swedish culture and history and has played a key role in the country's development. In its old town, the cathedral and castle are considered a must visit. The cathedral has spectacular spires that rise up into the sky, and the castle now houses 3 museums. But I think this area is perfect if you absolutely love nature. There's a friendly university crowd and most probably some awesome nightlife. And when you are there, facing the castle and down a steep stone staircase lies the Uppsala Botanical Garden, which is free admission. This large garden was donated to the university by King Gustav, so enjoy the sights for free. The best thing about Uppsala is that it makes a great day excursion from Stockholm.
Number 20. Porto. Porto is a coastal city in northwest Portugal, and it's known for its stately bridges and port wine production. It's currently the second largest city in Portugal, and a destination I highly recommend you should try over Lisbon. You will still find, as you amble around, vivid buildings and nudged up beside Baroque mansions and crumbling medieval churches, so it's perfect to walk around. But beneath the town, in places, lie the cellars that store the city's world-famous export, port wine. They say it's a romantic city. From the period architecture and twisting narrow streets with glimpses of riverfront. So it comes as no surprise that UNESCO has anointed it with World Heritage status. So if you do fancy that relaxed city break vibe, then Porto should be on your list.
Number 21. St. Petersburg, Russia. St. Petersburg is often referred to as the northern capital of Russia and the Venice of the north. In my opinion, however, it looks more like a mix of Paris, Vienna, Stockholm, and Amsterdam, as each of these cities have had a strong influence on the architecture of St. Petersburg back in the 18th century. But nonetheless, St. Petersburg is quite unique and definitely stands out in the region of Eastern Europe, with its lavish palaces, huge cathedrals, and gorgeous city square. And I have to say, I find it more beautiful than Moscow.
'22. Prague. Aptly named the City of 100 Spires, the Prague skyline is interrupted by towering cathedrals adorned with steeples, all topped with wrought iron crosses that pierce through the skies. The capital is one of the most popular cities to visit on any European itinerary, and that's for good reason. You'll find yourself spending countless hours wandering its many cobbled streets, but I highly recommend you wake up super early in the morning to enjoy the city in peace. But if you really want a in-depth guide into Prague, check out the Honest Guide channel. Number 23. Istanbul, Turkey. Istanbul is literally where East meets West. This beautiful city is the perfect place to get your feet wet, so to speak, if you're keen to explore the Middle East or Africa. This atmospheric city has all the magic of the Middle East and North Africa with a slightly more European feel. For example, the Blue Mosque in the late afternoon would be the highlight of a week. But I suggest gaining access to one of Istanbul's many bars and restaurants with a terrace because the view will be amazing at sunset for any of the top 3 attractions seen here on the map. If you're looking for a different vibe of the city, then head to Balat neighborhood. Number 24. Venice. The romantic city of Venice is located in the Veneto region of Italy. This ancient and historically important city was originally built on 100 small islands in the Adriatic Sea. So instead of roads, Venice relies heavily on a series of waterways and canals. It's easily one of the most famous cities in the world. Once in a lifetime city. The beautiful central square in Venice called the Piazza San Marco has tons and tons of attractions right in front of you. So it's easily one of the most famous cities in the world. One of the most unique cities in the world. And I highly recommend you visit now more than ever before because who knows what's going to happen to that city in the future. So that's why it's on this list despite the crowds. And finally, number 25. It's not Austria and it's not in Switzerland.
Bratislava, the capital of Slovakia, is set along the Danube River by the border with Austria and Hungary. It's surrounded by vineyards and the Little Carpathian Mountains, crisscrossed with forested hiking and cycling trails. You have the pedestrian-only 18th century Old Town, which is known for its lively bars and cafes. Perched atop a hill, the reconstructed Bratislava Castle overlooks Old Town and the Danube. Highlights are the Blue Church, the UFO Tower, the Old Town Hall, and make sure you visit both inside and the out, but don't forget to head down to the basement to see examples of medieval torture instruments. Overall, a short distance away from Austria and a worthy city to visit.
And there you have it, folks. 25 wonderful cities for you to visit in Europe. I highly recommend them all, and they are all chosen on this list because they are unique in their own way. If you made it this far into the video, you are a true rebel subscriber. And as always, be good, be kind, and be careful. Peace.